This is Matless Fitness. This is a Satsuma, and today I'm going to talk about lifting to failure. Right, before I start this, I'm going to explain what I mean by lifting to failure. So, let's say you go to the gym, you're doing your bench press, you put on a certain weight, and you say, right, I'm going to do 10 reps, alright? And you start doing your reps, you get to number 10, and you probably could do a couple more, but you leave it there, alright? That is not lifting to failure. The opposite to that would be lifting to failure, which is where you put your weight on, you get to 10 reps, you feel like you can do more, so you keep going. You get to maybe 12, and the last rep is a real struggle, and you just about get it up, right? That is lifting to failure. Now, there are three ways of going about this. The first way is obviously lifting to failure. This is somewhat of an old school way of doing it, but loads of people still do it. I personally do it myself. And it works well, which is where you pretty much do every single set to exhaustion. So you put an amount of weight on and you lift the weight until you can't move it anymore, okay? You try and set the weight so that you can do a set number of reps. So I normally target about 10 to 12, so I'll put a certain weight on, which I know is going to enable me to do 10 to 12 reps, but no more. And I will go to exhaustion every single time. The second way of looking at it is not going to exhaustion, alright? So you put a set amount of weight on, and especially for your first few sets, you'll do a certain amount of reps that obviously is difficult, but where you feel like you've got a couple more, okay? And the third way of going is doing a mix of both, which I do sometimes as well. So you might do a couple of sets where you don't go to exhaustion, and then you might finish with a couple of sets where you do go to exhaustion. So it's basically getting the best of both worlds. Right, the argument for not going to failure is a very logical one, and it does work. Basically, the principle is that, let's say you go, again, you're doing a bench press, you've got 100 kilos on the bar. Let's say you do your first set and you get 12 reps to exhaustion and you can't do any more, okay? You put the bar down, you have your rest. When you come back, if you use that same weight, you are only going to be able to do maybe 8 reps, okay? Again, that's going to be to exhaustion, you rest, you come back again, you're going to be down at maybe 4 or 5 reps. So let's say you've done your 3 sets there to exhaustion, you've done 12 reps, you've done 8 reps, then you've done 5 reps. That gives you a total of 25 reps in those 3 sets. However, if you were not to lift to failure, let's say you come in, you do your first set and you get 10 reps out, okay, but you're not tired, I mean you could have done a couple more, you leave it there, you have your rest, you come back, you can maybe get 9 reps on your second set, okay? Again, you could probably get 1 or 2 more, but you leave it there. Then you come into your third set, you can maybe go to exhaustion there, and maybe you're getting 8 or maybe even 9 reps again, okay? That is going to be a total of maybe 27, 28, 29 reps, so you've obviously done more reps at a higher weight than you have going to exhaustion. So that is basically the principle of the argument, that you can get more quality, you can get more work done at a higher weight by not going to failure. The argument people have for not going to failure, and like I said earlier, is a very valid one, is just that you can get more work in at a higher weight than you can by going to failure. Okay, not all the time, but generally that is how it works, and so therefore you can argue it's a more effective workout. I have, however, one major argument with this principle of not going to failure. The problem is that if you publicise this theory, if you say, you know, everyone shouldn't go to failure, you get more quality in, that may work for people who are experienced. If you've been lifting for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, you know exactly how your body works, you know how it feels, you know how different percentages feel, you know, when you get 1 or 2 reps out from failure, you know when you're going to fail, you know how many reps you can do. However, if you have someone who is inexperienced, who is new to the gym or hasn't been lifting for so long, they're not going to have that same perception of fatigue, they're not going to know when they're going to go to failure, all that kind of stuff. So, if you tell this person not to lift to failure, to stop before they get to failure, in my opinion, that is going to encourage laziness. You're going to find people who are scared of going to failure, who are scared of getting too tired, so they're never going to really hit anywhere near the amount of reps they could. So, I mean, people's perception can sometimes be massively out. You might get a person that sets a weight on a certain machine and they think, right, I'm getting a bit tired now, I don't want to go to failure, so I'll leave it there. But actually, if they were to go to failure, they could probably get another 10, 12, maybe 15 reps out of it. So what you are doing is, you are encouraging people to not train hard enough, which is going to make it all that much harder for them to get those same gains. So for that reason, and that reason alone, I would always recommend, particularly if you are new to training, new to lifting weights, that you go to exhaustion, okay? Simply for the reason that it's a very easy way to make sure you're training hard enough to gauge your progression, and it just basically involves less thinking. All you do is set up a weight and you lift it until you can't lift it anymore. If it's too heavy, you go lighter. If it's too light, you go heavier. It's a very simple principle. I mean, you might want to try elements of both. You might want to start Like I said, not going to failure and then do your last couple of sets going to failure. But like I said, particularly if you are new, I would always recommend going to failure. That way you can be assured that you are getting a decent workout and you are not kind of selling yourself short. And that is all I have to say about that. So, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. If you disagree with me, that's fine. Yeah, obviously everyone's got different opinions on this. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my social network stuff and I will see you later.